Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessie, and I'm a student at CSN studying psychology. More specifically, today I am studying social psychology. Social psychology is the study of how a person's attitude, motivation, behavior influence and is influenced by social groups. We're focusing on how social groups influence individuals by creating social norms. Social norms are the attitudes and behavioral standard expected of members of a particular group. Individuals in social groups practice conformity without realizing it by changing their behavior to adhere to the unstated but very present social norms. My research group and I performed an experiment to study what happens when we break conformity and act abnormally in social settings.
For our experiments, we performed two social norm violations. In the first, we defy acceptable elevator behavior, and in the second, we act strangely while random people make purchases at a relatively normal vending machine. Normal elevator behavior is to enter the elevator, press your floor, politely ask what floor everyone else is going to, and then select those options. Then you're to stand quietly facing the front until your floor is reached. Finally, you exit in the order of nearest to the door first. Instead of doing this, we will try to make conversation with everyone who enters the elevator. Since we performed our experiment at the mall earlier in the day on the weekend, the elevators were never full, which allowed us to interact directly with the person who entered. This norm violation was acted out by Chad, Jesse, and Jennifer. Normal vending machine behavior is to wait your turn in line, make your purchase, and then proceed with your day. Generally, you make little to no conversation with others at the machine unless you know them personally. We violated social standards by asking, then begging, the person in front of us in line for food they had just purchased. This was especially strange since we dressed in normal attire, looked healthy and well fed, and we didn't look poor or starved. This normal violation was acted out by myself, Spencer, and Chelsea.
A short note on privacy. In order to protect the identity and privacy of our test subjects, we did not display the video recordings of our trials. To make our presentation more visual and to help you understand what occurred, we have reenacted a select few of the scenarios. Vending machine reenactments are performed by Neelam, Jennifer, and Chad. Elevator reenactments are performed by Chelsea and Spencer, filmed by Jessie.
Hey, can I get that? No, please? No, please? Hey, can I have that, please?
Sure.
Thanks!
Good luck.
Hey, what's up? What floor are you going to? Where you going? What you doing? Huh? Oh, we're talking about later. What are you jogging the elevator for? You can take a break, you know. Or what floor are you going to? 2, 5, 1? Okay.
These clips show some very interesting and unexpected results from our experiment. Getting a candy bar from a stranger is definitely abnormal, and we were out-defied by the woman jogging the elevator. Overall, however, the consequences of us defying social norms were largely negative. Our textbook, Psych, defines attitude as behavioral or cognitive tendencies that are expressed by evaluating particular people, places, or things with a favor or disfavor. In order to assess attitude, we look at the behavior of the people we interacted with. Their behavior through body language, tone of voice, and facial expression helped us decide if they viewed us favorably or unfavorably. Most people turned their body away from us to show they were uninterested in engaging our strange behavior. Sometimes people crossed their arms and looked intently and closed the elevator doors. If there were parents and children, the parents often pulled their children closer to them. There was a group of people, they would move closer to each other and increase distance from us. The more we paid attention to these nonverbal cues of facial expression and body language, the more we realized that the cues were predictors of how the person would ultimately respond. Individuals that looked unhappy or uptight tended to respond negatively, while others that looked happy and chill tended to respond more neutrally and positively. These attitudes were experienced support the psychology concept of selective avoidance. We performed abnormal behaviors so that individuals in the elevators with us avoided our strangeness and acted as if we were not present at all by turning away, facing the doors, and ignoring us.
According to our hypothesis, the reason people conform to social norms is because of fear of consequences, and that's a strong motivating force. After experiencing the consequences of being shunned, getting dirty looks, and feeling pretty low, our experiments support our hypothesis. We did not want to feel this way, so we had a really hard time defying norms, even for research. The negative reactions we received from others also supported our hypothesis. We feared being judged and shunned, and that is exactly what happened except on 2 occasions: getting the candy bar and the jogging woman. Social norms are very real in society. Social psychology also explains why, as a group, we were able to overcome the hurdle of fear and perform the experiment. Since we were acting as a group, that also helped make us a lot more comfortable in the situation through social facilitation. Splitting up the norm-violating behavior put the embarrassment on all of us, equally, so there was a diffusion of responsibility as well. This project taught us that the attitudes are based on your life experiences, and everyone has experiences that differ and give them differing beliefs.
So what I learned from this project and acting out these norm violations is that we have these set in place, these norms, so that it makes interacting and communicating with people a lot easier. Also, it makes you think a little bit how one would react if, the opposite situation were to occur and somebody were, violating societal norms. And, you'd kind of step back and think, how would I handle that situation? But looking at it now, I think I'd have very similar reactions to a lot of people that we acted these out on.
I wasn't too surprised with the outcomes that we had with our norm violations. I mean, they're pretty common sense stuff. You approach somebody being polite, not rude, you're going to get positive feedback. You approach somebody with a negative attitude or something that's not supposed to be right, people are going to be defensive just naturally. So initially when we did our approaches on people, it was being kind. Hey, how you doing? You going here? You going there? Are you going to finish that? We weren't really getting the stuff that we wanted. So then that's where we have to change it up and kind of act oddly and weird or look weird and look like we're desperate or just a goober. And that's when you start getting your not so normal reactions from people.
This project has also given us a reminder of the importance of communication. Group projects rely on the efforts of multiple people. Communication is necessary to coordinate everyone and do good and efficient work. We also learned about effective citizenship, which is actively participating and supporting the common good. For our group, that meant doing our tasks on time and showing up on time. It also meant helping each other when we were embarrassed or uncomfortable in acting situations or in writing the essays. In conclusion, we have determined that while social norms seem like powerful walls that dictate how we must act, these walls can be easily taken down by supporting each other in a new group. Our group was acting abnormally, but we were acting together, so that was normal for us. Social norms are a lot more relative than we realize, and probably differ all over the world or even just city to city. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and have learned as much as we have.